Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. How is everyone doing? Sorry, I have a little scratchy voice this morning. Don't know why. So, hey, Patrick, comments are working. Glad I don't have to fly any longer either. Ford FAA system back up, but 4,000 flights delayed so far this morning. Wonderful, wonderful times. Let's trust the government with more things. Yay. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Donald. Becoming a regular. Good morning, Options 22. Hey, Andrea. Got a little chopped around yesterday, so today I will just stay patient. Wait for your setups or your best setups. Every move is not your move. You don't have to trade every move. Wait for them, especially with CPI coming out tomorrow. Good morning, George. Oh, wonderful. Stop with my pop-up news alerts. Good morning, Royal Palms. Tesla gapping up. Can we finally see a little push up? Possibly. Possibly. Just what was I reading this morning? They're looking to potentially start a new factory in Indonesia. Don't they have overcapacity now? This company's insane. Good morning, CD. Good morning, Anissa. In this market, it takes great conviction to hold your positions and not get chopped up. Any pullback can turn into a big crash. Just know where your stops are. If you have probabilities and stops, you know what? Anything could turn into a big move, but that's why you have stops. Ken C, good morning. Good morning, Sashi. Good morning, Connor. And also, that's why you use position sizing. Farther to stop, smaller to position. Keeps your risk in line. Good morning, Martinez. I've talked about that many times. So, nothing going on with the news. Mortgage information coming out earlier. We just have for crude traders and oil traders and gas traders and everything else. You have the EIA numbers coming out 9:30 Central, and then nothing besides your little auctions for some 10-year notes and some 17-week bills. So everything's pending tomorrow morning with CPI. So far, gap up in Tesla. Everything else is minorly bullish today. You can see here sectors, everything's up except healthcare is pretty much neutral, but everything's green across the board, buying ahead of CPI number. 77%, 40, 25 basis points. So it looks like that 25 basis point is getting really baked in, and fear and greed solidly in neutral mode. Gamma flip level is 39.61. Still huge gamma wall at 4,000. We're going to have to see how these short-term option positions, since that's making up about 40% of the option flow. We'll have to see how that positions for tomorrow. But also based off information now, it's looking like the option market is expecting about a 3% move with the release of the CPI numbers. That is huge. And from everybody's perspective, it's a 3% bullish move. So we're going to have to see, again, know where your stops are for both, because anything can still happen. By the way, no earnings this morning. KB home after the close. What else do we have? Just the grind higher so far. Hello, Amit. NVIDIA has a nice looking potential 4-hour double top. Just wait for confirmation triggers. Hey, Coco. Hey, ho, waka waka. Russell is starting to outperform. Everybody's in. Hey, it's all going to be fantastic. We're just going to keep rallying until first quarter earnings. Has me a little nervous when everybody in first quarter earnings, you just see no real earnings reduction yet. So we shall see, but there's always that possibility that something's going to pop out of nowhere in these markets. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, he is a wonderful Secretary of Transportation. Very qualified, too. Some flights, there was a complete halt to flights earlier this morning. They're resuming now. But every flight was halted. Will it move the market? No. Getting wicked out of your stop due to volatility is getting chopped up, but I guess getting used to watching this position run without you is part of successful trading. Yep. And in higher volatilities, that's why you keep wider stops. Too many people try to keep too narrow stops. If you're keeping very narrow stops, you have to be used to re-entries in positions. So if you get dinged out and it then goes back in the signal direction, there could be a re-entry signal. So again, grinding higher based off this. I'm focusing on the highs from Monday in the S&P, 39.7325, 39.84, 39.95 area to the upside, to the downside. Come on. We do, I don't even know if this is a potential. I saw it earlier. I did not measure it out. Yes. So that's the only thing I'm keeping an eye on from the bearish side, which would be a close below 39.8150. Other than that, short term pullback 39.35. Below that, 39.14. Below that, 39.01. None of those pullbacks would trigger the double even. So you have to have a substantial pullback through a lot of key support now to even trigger that double. Just something to watch for. Okay, so we got our levels higher and lower for the S&P. For the NASDAQ, still also a valid double, would need a close below 11,094. That's it. Otherwise, I'm still retargeting as 11,390 area, then 11,390. Then there isn't much until 11,500, and then 11,600 to the upside. The key support 11,183, 180 area. That's about it. Then minors about 11,150, and then you don't have much until possibly triggering the double. So that's about it. Pretty decent roadmap today. If you're looking for an intermediate level, I would look for about 11,440 as an intermediate level on a run higher. Besides, you can also do your reverse harmonics. Just curious to see. This is a great place to use reverse harmonics also for intraday trading. So those are levels you could focus on. So I'd be watching with this running down into that 11. Probably like come in front of that 11,430 area, about 11,422. Let's just get through the Dow and see that. Then we'll get to the spiders and the Qs. So, yep, close on the Dow. I go off the conservative targets, but it's going to need that close below 33,489 to trigger. Major support coming in at 33,625. Other than that, you have to really drop down in time frame to look at your next little support area, right around 33,800 to 33,830. Targets still Dow watching for a retest of this 34,420 and Monday's highs, 34,080, then 34,198, then 34,365. Russell, 1845 is the next target area. Then above there, I'll be watching that on a closing basis. 1868. There is some little minor key resistance in here. It's running into some overhead resistance up here, and it's just at that 200. So I'm paying close attention to the Russell, but the next intraday target is at 1845. Pullback is 1832. And then 1818. All right, so that's where we sit with the Russell, spiders, and the Qs. You got your gap up today. You got your gap up. So the first key support would not only be yesterday's close, 390.58. 390.50, 390.58 is the key area. I'll just bump this up. That's the key area. Right now, minor 392.60. Then Monday's high is 393.70. On a breakdown, if it does roll over, fill the gap. This is going to gap open and put in a potential double top. And I've shifted to conservative targets once we know that side's in. If it were to roll over, the rollover point is not down to 386. 388 is key support. Before that, if we did sell off, 388 would be my target area. Then it would be this 386.27. The Qs, I don't know if that's going to be enough of a gap. You need it to get above 273.71. If it gets above there, would be a potential double. I'm just going to mark it off, and I'll pull it off in our next update if it's not valid. But that's what it is. It's not valid yet. It has to get above that 271 or 273.71 area. But the trigger point on that would be 268.97. In front of that, besides the gap fill back to yesterday's close, 272.92, you don't have a ton of support. I will be watching 270.85. And then you still have, what's interesting, this full gap didn't fill yesterday. The full gap from Friday to Monday was back down to 268.77. It only filled to this little opening price there. So if that's a full gap fill, it could confirm and then possibly trigger the double, if the double's valid by then. DAX, just grinding higher, next target area above the harmonics. There isn't a great pausing bar yet, so this is, I'm not going to really be putting a lot of emphasis on this, although it does come up with about that 15,150, 160 area. Minor for stop reduction. Remember, this is still in trailing mode. The potential double is off the table. It never triggered. 15,035, then your major top area. This is getting extremely, extremely overextended. Everything, I mean, the whole thing with euros going higher, dollars going to get crushed. Everything's tipping to one side, which has me really worried. People are all piling in on the same trade. Short the dollar, long the euro, long the stocks. It's getting to where it's really getting, not saying it can't keep rallying, but I am being prepared for a potential rug pull, and it might not be CPI. It might be something else. It might be after CPI. When everybody's rushing to one side of the boat to look over the edge, can lead to a little capsizing. So far, inside day with the notes from yesterday. Not expecting much movement out of this today, so sitting on hands, 113.24 support, 114.20 resistance. We'll keep an eye on it, but dollar index is also so far very narrow range yesterday, very narrow range today, sitting below the key resistance level right now, 103. On a sell-off, now again, not expecting it today based off of CPI tomorrow, but the major target is this 102 to 102.95. If we rally 103.54, and if it sucks people in and does something major, I'm watching 104.50. VIX, we're getting back down to where this double will be off the table soon. Crude. Still keeping an eye on this little channeling pattern higher. In the short term, we're right at this 50 area. If we break higher, target 78.11. And then if we run through there, I'm targeting the 50 on the daily, 79.24. So that's all I'm keeping an eye on to the upside. There's nothing great to the downside unless we really rotate back down about 74.70. Natty Gas, still keeping an eye on the potential double. Nothing else there. Gold. Come on. Still watching for a pullback pattern here. Stalling out. Running out of some momentum at a very overbought and overextended level. Silver, not doing anything. Copper, still running, closing in on the next key target from the weekly. Double, 418. So, it's already hit raise stop. So now it's just letting it run. Again, Japanese 10-year sitting at that 50 basis point. No intervention just yet. No bond purchasing. Keeping an eye on the little double, which has now triggered. So being very patient with the yen for a little run higher again. Euro, so far just pausing at a very key high area. Nothing from my perspective to do yet there. Pound, trading back to key support, but nothing yet to do there. Bitcoin, pausing. Markets rally. We'll watch for continued rally. My key target is in the short term 17,804, unless we break back below 17,230. Tesla. You got your gap up, still 124.50. Then the next major target is 130.27 to about 132.50 at this point. That's the breakout play. Other than that, the only thing would be the rollover play. If we get the rollover, the closing is 118.85. So we had the partial gap fill, not the full gap fill yesterday, so below that 117.30, and then you just got to use your shorter term levels. If we do open up here, this could be a potential double top. Now, if it takes out this 124.50 area, it'll probably get off the table, but where it's looking to open now, it would have to be trading above 121.37, which is looking for. So I'm just going to put these on. You'd need a close below 114.94. The first target would be the gap fill from back to Friday, and then possibly all the way back to 106. So that's the potential bearish setup. But if the markets run higher, watching this 124.50 area. Male function? You sure it wasn't a female function, Donald? Yeah, it was the whole FAA computer system went out for scheduling stuff. Let's see, what did I miss in here? I mean, I can't get to any comments. Show me. Let's see, what else? Is that a clear path on the 4-hour S&P? Yes, this is a clear path move. And it's a clear path move. This is an instance where I will not ignore that wick area. We already have targets right around that 39.95 area because of the 200. And that's coming in with this spike low on the 4-hour into a clear path. So this is a very key area right here. Also between the 50 and the 62.5. So yes, that is a clear path area. And you see where I draw that line? That's roughly where the 200 is also. So we shall see. Other than that, oh, just my voice. Just my voice. I'm not sick. I don't feel sick. Okay. Yeah, we get a lot of doubles going into, and they all remember most of these doubles on a strong rally today. Most of the doubles could get invalidated. So why am I putting them on there? Because they're potential setups. So you have to be aware if you're not analyzing both sides of the market. Again, everybody's just like people I've talked to, they're already over the last couple of days. You just buy it. It's a no-brainer going into CPI. CPI is coming down, no-brainer. This thing's going to, I mean, I have people calling for 4,300, then new highs on a no-brainer trade. Last time, many times when I hear no-brainer trade, yeah, we can rally, but I better be prepared for something else, so I have to know where my levels are. I mean, the only pattern trigger I go off of here is with this double. That doesn't mean you can't be long other things in conjunction. I mean, there are other shorter term trades like in the Russell. But the double, it could, though, stall it. It's hit that first target area for stop reduction. Could this come up here again and roll over in the NASDAQ and trigger a double top and come back to retest the lows? Sure, it could. But we need to get the trigger on that first. All right. Do I think it will be better than expected, but how much? Or it's going to be better or in line with expectations. But you know what? I'm going to have to trade the price action. Again, we're in tactical trading mode still. There's just no, there's just no buy and sit back. Even on a rally, there's just no buy and sit back and wait and expect, the market to just keep chugging along with mindlessly trailing a stop once a week. We're not in that mode. Look, even if the NASDAQ took off, you still got 12.2 is major key resistance, 12.140 to 12.2. And that's a long way off from any new highs. The only thing, if we do really start to rally, the one I'm focusing on, I mean, the Russell's been holding up, but the thing I'm still focusing on is the Dow potentially rallying up to this high area from before, since it's only 30 stocks. But we'll keep an eye on everything. Powell's still focused on the CPI, and they're not really focused on jobs. They're already expecting jobs to roll over a bit. They're focused on, the PCE. That's what they're focused on. The PCE numbers. That's what they keep saying. They're not even overly focused on CPI. The market's focused on CPI. The Fed's focused on PCE and inflation not getting, and employment not getting horrible. But they've already said they're expecting even prints possibly to 4.5% over the next few months for unemployment. And they said they won't budge. So that's where it sits. Sterling's going in the CPI hedged. There you go. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. If you don't have great setups and this thing just grinds, just don't do stupid ahead of a major announcement. There'll be, again, even after the announcement, there'll be fantastic trading. You don't have to trade every day. You don't have to capture every move. So if you're trying to do that, that's just out of greed or fear of missing a move. But there's always another move. Yeah, but they need PCE again. Even 3% PCE isn't good for them. They want PCE clearly back to 2. It's been trending down. But look, we could stall. You could see everybody celebrating 6, even 6.5% CPI. CPI could come down to the 5s and stall out, especially with commodities running again. This is what people aren't expecting. You got copper. Remember, we have the copper trade. Crude's now holding up at higher levels. All right. You know, it's trying to put in more of a base effect. You have copper holding up and running higher, major industrial level. Silver's still holding up. Gold is holding up, and not just from the precious metal, but from an, gold's used in a lot of industrial stuff too. You have things holding up that could keep inflation holding higher than they want, especially if crude starts making another push higher. I mean, if you triggered a double in crude, it could get back to the 90s. That's not like where we were before, but that's not, and we've already drained a strategic petroleum reserve a lot. You could see inflation getting stuck above 4%, even possibly in the 5% range over the next few months. That's not okay. So where the market will be selling stuff, if inflation gets stuck, that's not good. Yeah, it's been trending down, but it can also halt a trend. The trend doesn't have to continue. Just going to peek at the tick real close. Then I'm going to... And that's, I don't think, being taken seriously. Everybody's like, it's going into massive rapid deflation. We'll be back below 0 before we know it. Well, what if it's not? You got to always analyze both sides of a trade. So pretty strong opening in these stocks with that tick. So I'm going to see on any pullbacks, where we pull back to and how the follow through goes. But pretty strong opening in the tick. Might get this little pullback into the open, but at this point, 39.50-52 area, 39.53 is what I'll be watching on any pullback right now. All right, I will wrap it up for now, and I shall talk to everyone later. Bye for now.